Here to discuss is Serena Lim, Soft IP and Litigation Counsel from Ant Group, Karen Wang, Associate General Counsel, Trademark and Brand Protection from Western Digital, and Leona Xie, Legal Director from Daniel Wellington. And to facilitate the session, I would like to hand off to Alvin Kwan, Regional Director of East Asia from CSC. Alvin, over to you.
Thank you, Jasmine. So, our session is about talking about technology and how we use technology to improve our brand protection. So, this is an interesting topic. Hopefully, you'll find insight into how we actually use technology as well. So, just to give you a debrief, I think what we are going to talk about today is will be divided into briefly two segments. We'll talk about how we actually use technology now, and the other part would be, future technology, how, the limitation of what we see currently, and how we see technology can or should improve future brand protection as well. So, let me, I didn't actually properly introduce myself in my keynote, so let me just quickly spend 2 lines to introduce myself. My name is Alvin Kwan. I'm the Regional Director for CSC, and we are a vendor who provide, a similar technological solution to help different brands to monitor and enforce the brands on different platforms and different online channels as well. So in the session, we have 3 very good panelists, and I have to mention one particular thing. We have Karen from WD and Leona from DW. So, but drop this aside. Let me just pass to them to have a quick introduction of themselves. Well, maybe I'll start with Serena, and then Karen and Leona. Thank you.
Thanks, Alvin. So as Jasmine has introduced earlier, I'm the Soft IP and Litigation Counsel at Ant Group. For those of you who are not familiar, we are the parent company of Alipay. And as part of our business expansion, the company is now also into blockchain technologies. And that's what you can see in my backdrop. It's Ant-Chain. So I have responsibilities for the company's trademarks portfolio. I take care of the registration as well as enforcement relating to our brands, and to the extent it involves copyright, that's also my play. Very, very, very happy to speak amongst such a esteemed panelists. Look forward to the discussion.
Karen?
Hi, everyone. I'm Karen Wong. I'm from Western Digital. And though, Western Digital represents WD and Leona, DW, we are in totally different industry. And for us, we are a digital storage device provider. And our products are often seen in your computer, your mobile phone as HDD hard drive, solid state drive, USB, micro SD card, SD card, CF card, or everything, storage solutions, everything we provide. So I'm so pleased to join this wonderful panelists to share my experience and to learn from others. Thank you.
Great. It's my turn. Okay, thanks. Hello, everyone. Nice to meet you here. I'm Leona from Daniel Wellington. As Alvin and Karen just said, we are DW, just Daniel Wellington. Yeah, we are a very young Swedish watch and accessory brand. So it's Nordic simplicity fashion. So we are in different industries, but it's in retail. So a lot of things related to our brand. So I am responsibility for the local brand protection activities. Meanwhile, as all the commercial legal affairs in China. So it's very nice to participate in this interesting topic and look forward to the discussion. Thank you.
Thank you. So let me just start off the discussion with a little bit of introduction. As we can see, all 3 panelists came from very different industry. Serena from a more of a service side, whereas Karen and Leona from more of a product side, but very different product. So I think to set the scope of the discussion, I think it would be helpful to kind of talk about the issues that we face in two different segments. I think there are two different channels. One is a more traditional online channels, which is more about the online marketplaces, website, emails, these kind of things. Especially marketplaces, I think Leona and Karen can contribute a little bit more. And there are also newer online channels, such as the app stores, social medias, and video streaming platforms and things like that. I think by my experience, the infringement type would be quite different, and maybe the technology that we use to tackle problems there might be a little bit different as well. So, and the other scene that I want to set is that when the topic is about how do we actually use technology to improve protection. So I think from my perspective, I would briefly define improving protection into three kind of category or elements. The first one being using technology to discover the infringement, 去发现那个 infringement. Now, the second one would be data analysis. When you capture all this information, how do you use technology to analyze the data and produce meaningful reporting? And the third thing is about more the evidence perseverance. And then the fourth one would be enforcement. So maybe we'll talk through our discussion in these different elements as well. So, all right, without further ado, let me just ask you to answer a really general question first. So what are the current tools that you're using to protect your brand online? Maybe I'll start in reverse. Maybe I'll ask Leona first.
Yes, thank you. Currently, we have a global used as a third-party system, which might help us to conduct online monitoring, online data analysis, online enforcement, such basic activities which we are aiming to protect our brands. Meanwhile, apart from this third-party system, we also have some usage of the local marketplaces. They have their own IPP portal. I think this is another main channel for us to conduct the online enforcement. This is two channels for us.
So, all right, thank you. How about Karen?
We are sort of like similar thing with DW. We have outside third-party vendors to help us to grab the online infringing listings. And what we are looking at the outside vendor is that they can connect a lot of platforms together into their system so that we do not need to search platform by platform. On the other hand, if we can provide them with our whitelist into their system so that they can automatically grab all the infringing listings we consider. Either it is counterfeit, or it is pure trademark infringement, or it is copyright infringement. So in that way, it can help us improve our efficiency. But of course, that is basically automatic thing by third party. We also have manpower as a tool to do these online takedowns. And we take the liberty from our sales team and we help them monitor the market by ourselves and took down, because we have to do some analysis on how big the target is. We have to do some manual analysis in this way. Yes. So we're kind of, also as Leona mentions, the IPP portals, now they are very proactive, and the several platforms already offered proactive actions for the brand owners. So every month we can receive some reports on how many listings are proactively taken down by the platforms. So I think this is normally the way we are handling the online infringement.
Interesting. Human brain is still the most advanced AI at the moment. So that's a good technology that you see there.
We cannot be replaced.
Exactly. So maybe I'll continue, Serena, but I have some follow-up questions on what you mentioned. So, Serena?
Yeah, so for us, we do also use an external service provider to help us with the online monitoring. I guess the nature of the unauthorized users of our brands that we see is slightly different because we do offer services, and more often than not, particularly with financial services, what we're selling is trust. We have a trustworthy and a safe system for our users, and a lot of misuses of our brands is actually to take advantage of the fames and the reputation of our brands, and perhaps to also use that to indicate an endorsement from our company to a third-party product. So apart from using the online tools or a service provider to sort of scrape the web and to sort of identify these infringements, a lot of times what we see is also our customers actually asking us, hey, is this really something that is provided by your company? So I guess to a certain extent, that's a different human element, which we consider an important tool. And I guess, because we are regulated industry, we operate in regulated industry, so we do have authorities that govern our business activities. Sometimes when it relates to possible fraud on the consumers, and this is something that we don't really want to be able to sort of identify this before all the authorities come to us and say, hey, what are you doing in terms of ensure people are not scammed or defrauded. So I sometimes, we may get tipped off by the police, or but that's not the way that we want our infringements to be detected.
Great. Yeah, I thank you very much, Serena. I actually want to go back to Leona's and Karen's answer a little bit first. You guys mentioned that you use both a vendor as well as use the tools provided by the platforms as well. So do you see a conflict there? Because essentially they're doing monitoring on the same platforms, right? So I presume the third-party tools will also monitor the particular e-commerce platform, which they will also monitor for you as well. Do you see that technology complementary or conflicting? What's your opinion there?
So, okay. Yes. Okay. I give some input here. Honestly, for the third-party vendor we are currently used, they have a quite wide coverage of different kinds of marketplaces and social media, all that kind of. So we are very beneficial from the automated searches. They help us to free a lot of human resources, as Karen said, manpower, which we can switch to the more valuable work. But this is a thing exists that, they might also focusing on some IPP portal as well, but there's some difference. Of course, I also can share something. Of course, we not only use a third-party vendor to cover all the platforms, but we internally also have a small team. My teammates, also identifying infringing listings on these key platforms as well. This is might be some direct requests from the local business. So we can the first tier to targeting these infringing listings on requests. So absolutely, there's some conflicting, but as I said, the external service provider, when they monitoring, they just like a massive database or the different kinds of amounts listings. But we internally will focusing on some certain category infringement or certain listings. Then we can tag or we can upload or file the complaints from our own accounts on the IPP portal. We have some allocations, different enforcement work between the internal team and the service provider. So this is what we are doing now. Yeah.
Essentially, you're also supplementing the technology with human
Yes.
technology as well. It's not necessarily a bad thing, but it is also an element that I think would be worthwhile exploring further as well, especially when we move on to how do we improve technology, because certainly human has a cost as well.
Yeah,
so how do we minimize that cost with technology later on? That's something that we can talk about.
Yeah.
So now maybe I'll move on to another question first to all of you. And I actually want to ask Serena a bit more on this as well. So we have different tools to monitor the traditional channel that we talk about and the newer channels as well. I presume you'll be covering all these channels. Do you see a difference between the older traditional channels and the new channels? What's the feeling over there? Especially Serena, you work on the service side. And you mentioned that your industry are regulated as well. So does that present additional challenge for you?
Yeah, so I think what you meant by that question is the promotion of services or products not via e-commerce platforms that people are accustomed to. So what we're seeing right now, even on some e-commerce platforms, it's like a live broadcast. So you have a KOL or a key opinion leader or an influencer doing a live video, so be it on Facebook, TikTok, or other sort of e-commerce platform with a live broadcast function. So you have this kind of short-term infringement. The live broadcast, it's no longer there. Subsequently, you need to be there looking at the information and rely on that broadcast or that video recording still being on the platform or being published on the web subsequently for you to identify or detect those infringements. So I think that's one of the difficulties coming out from the new ways to promote services. And also for social media platforms where things are not in a public venue. Right, so you may have a private chat group or a private group that requires permission for people to join. So without that permission, you may not be part of the circle and won't receive circulation for those goods and services that are being promoted. So for us, for example, because what we typically see in the context of financial services as well is people trying to fish for account information, right? Or they try to sell a product and say, okay, invest in us, give us X amount of money, and then you stand a chance to, get a return of 10%, 20%, or whatever it is, and they stick our brands out there. And what they don't want to do is a large-scale kind of promotion of this. They want to do it under the ground so that they have sufficient time to run the scam and to get people involved, and it's not shut down immediately once we identify the infringement. So that's why it's done in closed groups. So it's not like the typical infringement on marketplace where you actually want as many people to see it as possible. So you can sell the 10 items that you have and then you take the listing down. So for fraud scams, it usually takes time to build up trust and to get people to send you some amount of money.
Interesting. So, Karen, do you experience the same? Between the traditional channels and the newer channels, are there differences in your experience?
Yeah, absolutely. As Serena mentioned, the live broadcasting is really a headache to us. And we even have some, KOLs, key opinion leaders, who I think the key opinion leaders probably are also innocent. They don't know what they are doing is wrong, and they don't know they are selling the fake products. But it's only for a very short period, and how we can even get the evidence prevalence. And as it's a key opinion leader, we don't want to get annoyed of the key opinion leader, so that probably there'll be some further trouble for us. So this really, as Serena mentioned, caused a lot of trouble for us.
And Leona, any opinion there?
Yes, I think for Daniel Wellington, also for Karen, for these products, industry. So we also facing such kind of KOL or live stream broadcasting, counterfeits things. I think starting from last year during the COVID period, of course, the live stream is quite popular in China. Lots of online sellings. So we also endure such kind of counterfeit things. So we needed to think about how to tackle these. Might be for some tools. Of course, in certain areas, some evidence or something, it's quite difficult to obtain. In a quite short period of time. So these are the things. We are facing.
So are you using a particular technology tools to resolve this issue, or is it more of a manual work at the moment?
Honestly, not that much. We had 2 cases last year, honestly, from the live stream. We hopefully we can keep the evidence, but that the live stream is mainly happened during the evening or weekends. It's not a working date, so might be hard for us to notarize these kind of evidence. So it's one thing we needed to consider before we take actions for these targets.
Cool. All right. So let me ask questions about how these tools that you currently employ, how does it improve your effectiveness of online brand protection at the moment? So I actually want to start with Karen about this. I think you mentioned something about how it integrates with your internal system. So would you mind sharing your thoughts on this?
Sure. I'm so excited about this question. So I will elaborate it more to, outside the online framework. Sorry about that. The efficiency is really a very critical thing for trademark and brand protection. What we are doing is a trivial thing, but there's many of them. But when we talk about effectiveness, I want to bring us back to the old school time, where we do a lot of things manually. I can still remember when I was with the law firm, how we drive crazy of the process specialist to set the reminders for us. I can even still remember, I woke up in the midnight and thinking whether I've missed some deadlines and have to open the computer to make sure whether I've missed that deadlines. And then when I joined an in-house practice, and it's a high technology company with more than 20,000 products in China. And the company is so great, the product's so great. There are a lot of counterfeit issues in the market. And if we count every individual reseller, manufacturer as each case, and we probably have up to 5,000 cases per year. In those old days, I believe I've grown 10 years older. I should look much younger now if I'm not in that manual days. And I'm not a well-organized person. I have to key in all these, counterfeit information into the Excel sheet to help me to track the case, to help me, work through the sample verification with engineers. And, for the paper invoice approving, when I now get together with my old colleagues, they're still teasing me on how mad, frustrated I am for those days. And I still remember we desperately go to a lot of vendors to have a system help us manage the case, to release us from all this administrative work. but we find this system is good on this way, but not good on that way. We did not find one in those days. But fortunately, in my new job, we came across some new system the year before. And, as in-house, we have to battle against a lot of cross functions to get the budget. But finally, we convinced the management team that this investment is good for the company and we can get the system. So the system is just we are so excited about it. It's very satisfactory and improve a lot of efficiency for us. The case can be now created not just by us when we have the infringement information. The outside vendors can do it from their end when they have lead information. This is critically important for us because we have a lot of cases that are actually found by the outside vendor rather than by us. Rather than they send us email and we put into the system, create the case. Now they can do it just, so great for us. We do not need to open the new cases for now. And the system allows us to manually link the cases. This is super helpful for the market sweep, market survey actions we are doing so that we can now have the market name and we want to link this market name to the individual targets in that certain market. And the system also has some sort of AI technology for case analysis. For example, if we enter a telephone number, and we have entered that before, the system will automatically pop up a message, hey, this is a repeating information. So we can check on, what's the case for that telephone number. We can map the information for data analysis to see the linkage of the cases. And also the system provides us with a terrific interaction ability. When we open a case in the system, we can delegate the case to outside vendors without sending emails. The system will help us. We just click the outside vendor's email, and vice versa. The outside vendor can work this way as well. And for the internal interaction, if we have the samples for verification, we can delegate to our internal employees for help. And of course, the system can help us set up the auto reminders. I no longer need to go to the engineer to get the sample results, and the system can help do a lot of the administrative stuff. And one last advantage of the system is that, as I mentioned before, we are using a third-party vendor for the online takedown work. And for this system, we can just extract all the information we need from the third-party vendor's system for the online takedown works and put it back to our system. And this just makes it so easier for our reporting because this system can help us calculate the quantity with the quantity and the unit price we put into the system. The system can help calculate the business value of the taken down listings so that we can easily show the business impact of the online takedown work. So this is just a fantastic tools we are using to improve our efficiency.
Thank you very much, Karen. So, sorry, in light of time, I just want to move on to the next topic, which is really about how we think about the future or some of the gaps that we actually see at the moment. So, I think before we start, I kind of mentioned that there are 4 dimensions into protection, and I think what Karen you mentioned is has a lot to do with the second step, which is the data analysis, having a system that can pull everything together to analyze data. So now I think we have the discovery, the data analysis, the evidence, perseverance, and enforcement. So do you see one of the your current tools are doing better or worse in some of the areas? Maybe I'll start with Leona and then Serena.
Okay, yes, thanks. If it's a need to rank, our current system used based on the 4 dimensions you just mentioned, I think I will choose identification might be, as the first ranking. So, because I think the resources for the infringement, is just a startup of our work. So we need a lot of information. Even if it's a massive listings, huge amount of the listings we need to filter, but at least we need to have such kind of identification. So I think the current system we are using, it provides, as it has quite wide range coverage of the marketplaces and the social medias or that kind of. So it can absolutely provide such sufficient listings to us. And for our filtering, I think because this system can record the different kinds of sellers listings, the enforced complaints, such kind of information to some extent. It helps us to filter the targets from identification, then go to the next step for analysis. So the next step is, I think, better is just, the next ranking better is the analysis. So this identification and analysis is what I needed. For our current work.
So, but is there anything that you wish? All right. Currently, if I have to have a really good online brand protection, the tools is actually lacking. You don't need to mention the tool name, but what's in your wish list to improve if you have all the technology in the world that you can?
Yes, even if we say, okay, identification is the first ranking or analysis is the next one, but things I should not say, because each system has benefits from the 4 dimensions and also disadvantages for the 4 dimensions. Yes, I think that the current tools I should not say I am. My company using, is because I should say the evidence, preservation. Evidence preservation might be have some room to improve. To improve, because how I should say so, because it's not the system itself, but because each marketplaces, they have their own policy, and most of the marketplaces, they now create their own IPP portal, for example, they just include such kind of figures or data in their own system. So your third-party vendor needed to connect their system to the marketplaces. To have an open area market data. So this is I think this is quite difficult. So if you create a quite sufficient system, you need to have a lot of contacts with the different kinds of marketplaces. So this is the thing. Another thing is just for example, as just mentioned, the very traditional channels with the very newer channels, for example, if for some app based, not web page marketplaces, if it's app based marketplaces, it's I think more difficult for the system to scrap such kind of data. So from my side, I think, these kind of situation or factors needed to be considered, but also as well can have some improvements.
Awesome, thank you. Let me move to Serena.
My wish list. So the problem that I have right now is that a lot of times when we talk about infringement, it occurs across different platforms, and it may be the same infringement. So it's the same content, but it's scattered across, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. name it, it's everywhere, right? And to take it down, what you usually have to do is to write to each and every one of these platforms to complain about it, prove your rights, and state your case before it will be taken down. And sometimes you get pushback because it's not obvious. It's not obviously an infringement or whatever it is. So for me, I guess like my wish list would be to have like a standard procedure that is applicable across all these platforms, that is recognized across the industry. ISO of sorts for takedowns.
That would be really hard.
And I think that will make life easier. I don't know whether the lawyers in attendance will agree to that, but it will actually save us a lot of time in terms of efficiency, right? And it's to just get one thing done. And the best thing is that if you have like a system, for example, just key in all the links and you just click all the platforms that you want to send a notification to, and just do it once, and everyone is just informed of the complaint. So that's a wish list, if you like.
Yeah, I actually, thank you. Very interesting. There one more question I want to go back to you later on, but let me ask Karen first. But let me change the question slightly, because you're Leona, and you handle more of the counterfeit type of issues, and I know your opinion probably similar to Leona, but I want to add a little bit deeper as well, because you both mentioned that you supplement your technology with human as well, which is, in my opinion, even if we are a vendor, we quite understand there's practical limitation to technology at the moment. But what are the areas that you find you really need to have human input at the moment? I think that would kind of highlight where the technology currently is lagging a little bit. So what would be your thought, Karen?
That would be analysis of the targets of the cases. For example, for why we use manpower, and you just asked Leona that question, there probably will be duplicate work from outside vendor and the platforms who are taking proactive actions for the online takedowns. And we do see that. And in that case, we have to work it carefully, because we have some online to offline cases. With manpower analysis, we can actually mapping that is a pretty big target. Of course, we work with the platform to get the information of the target. And in that case, we need to work very carefully on whether we want to take online actions now or later. And so in that way, for some platforms, we designed it that this platform will handle it by us pure manually, rather than asking any third-party vendor to do it.
So if I paraphrase, the limitation, if I have to go back into what can be improved, would be that the data are not talking to each other enough at the moment. So the system, whatever technology that you're using, are unable to perform those kind of analysis. So you have to use human to supplement that. Do you see in practice? Is that a analytical problem, or is it a data problem more? Is it because data are not talking together, or just the analysis not well?
It's both? Data issue. And, in that way, I'll agree with Serena more than ever, if platforms can talk so that, the data can talk to each other, that will save a lot of efficiency for us.
Right. So, okay, cool. Now, literally, I'll move on to a question about privacy, because the real reason why platform cannot disclose data is most often they're not privacy issue. They don't want to disclose information that would violate the law as well. So, but hold this question. I'll come back to this later on. But I want to address one of the key points that I think actually Karen mentioned before is the evidence perseverance side. I think it's Leona. So. I know that evidence perseverance is hard because if you use technology, you don't always able to capture the evidence, and even if you capture the evidence, are you able to use it as well? So one of the problem, if you are representing foreign brands enforcing in China, some platform in China actually require evidence to be to go through some validation processes and things like that. I think in China they don't always need that, but if you talk about foreign firms, then they have a much higher requirement. So let me direct this question to Serena. I understand that Lens is working on quite some new technology, the end chain thing that you mentioned. So can you give us a little bit more insight into this?
Yeah, sure. So the product that we're actually have it's not something that we're working on. It's actually something that is already in the market. So what we do, I think for those of you who don't know, Ant is one of the top blockchain patent filers in the world. So we do have a lot of knowledge and also all the researchers and resources with regard to blockchain technology. And what we have done right now is to expand the use cases that the technology can be applied to. So as you may know, the nature of blockchain technology is that any information that is logged on the blockchain is transparent, it's decentralized, it's immutable. So if you want to change if you want to add particular information on the blockchain, you need a consensus from all the nodes that are on the blockchain itself. And this consensus is basically given based on an agreed protocol, right? So there will be a method of calculation that is agreed by all parties on the blockchain itself. And for an information to be logged on the chain or added to the chain, you need all parties to agree that this is a positive, negative, or one way or the other before it's put on there. So given the nature of blockchain technology, what has happened or what we have actually used is a blockchain protection platform where you're able to do rights preservation. So basically, if you have a right, for example, you can log it on the chain and there's a timestamp on the chain itself on when the work was created, what was actually created. And going to the next step, which is what Leona has indicated previously, which is on the enforcement side, when you identify an infringement, in China, what typically happens is that if you want to rely on a certain piece of evidence in court proceedings, you need to have that notarized. And I think one of us have mentioned in the earlier discussion as well that sometimes it takes time to arrange for a notary public to attend to the notarization, and when it's a transient infringement, so something that is only there for 20 minutes and then it's taken down, you simply don't have the time to ask the notary for the availability, can you do this, and go through the traditional notarization process.
Yeah, so, sorry, just to interrupt you. COVID-19 make it virtually impossible. You can't go out,
Yes.
So, that's really hard. It's extra hard now. Sorry to disrupt you, but I just need to mention this.
Yeah. So what the blockchain technology can do, which is essentially the judicial blockchain, which is tied to the court system in China as well, is for right owners, when they identify an infringement, particularly online infringement, is to arrange for the infringement evidence to be logged on the blockchain. And as part of that function of the blockchain, you're able to arrange for that evidence or the online page that is infringing to be notarized. So what you need to do is actually copy the link into the blockchain function of the tool, identify the notary that you want to have notarize the evidence, and just click submit, and the system runs and downloads and prints out safe whenever it is on the web page itself and it's notarized. And that of notarized evidence via the blockchain is admissible in court subsequently in legal proceedings. This product has already been used in China for quite some time. It's not exactly new because blockchain evidence was admitted, regarded as admissible as early as 2018. So it's been around for a while. And in fact, what has happened is that the nature of evidence, beyond IP, so outside IP protection, you're talking about smart contracts, blockchain, right? So any kind of evidence outside IP protection enforcement, people are starting to use digital blockchain as well. And that basically saves time, the cost. On average, what we're seeing is that for a web page to be notarized by the blockchain, it can be done as quickly as 1 minute, depending on the volume, of course. And the cost for notarization can be as little as 5 yuan. Compared to the traditional notarization process, it saves a lot of time and saves some amount of money as well. And the courts have regularly recognized blockchain evidence as admissible in court. So this is something that I guess the new technology that is being used in China. So that.
Thank you. Very, very interesting. As a tech guy, I find this really, really interesting. Actually, in the last few years, I know blockchain technology has been has been a lot of discussion about how to apply blockchain into online brand protection. I don't think anyone actually find a solution, but I think because I think a lot of the thoughts was actually put onto this first two steps, the discovery and the analysis step. But I think what you mentioned is really helpful on this third and fourth step, which is the perseverance of evidence and actually eventually using this technology, this evidence in the enforcement side. So I want to ask a follow-up question. So actually, I will address this to Karen and Leona. So I think this is quite related to a particular type of takedown process we typically use in the online world, which is the copyright takedown. Mm-hmm. So how do you find this? If this is this level of judicial evidence perseverance using blockchain, how do you see this could apply in your case?
Yes. Okay. So at first, again.
Cool.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah. Because copyright issues is one of the issues we are currently facing. Because we have a lot of very beautiful photos, not only for the products but also for the our collaborators, the influencers, our celebrities, so it's truly a thing for us. So we ourselves, from the IPP portal, but as well from the third-party vendor, try to use the system, to filter the copycat photos, but this is quite a complicated issue. It's not to us, I think it's not that easy, honestly. So for the system currently can do quite a simple filtering of the photos, so they can filter it out and conduct the in-time enforcement. But for might be a bit complicated one, because the infringer, the skilled or experienced infringer, they are quite familiar with key points for online enforcement or complaints. So they will revise, adjust some photos, to avoid the indicators. So it's quite difficult for us to identify more, only on the pure how to say that, copy paste, photos, So this is a difficulty facing. So if I think if there's some high technology or newer technology which can help us to find the solution, have more accurate, photos, which can help us also can fix the evidence. I think it would be quite helpful for our current online enforcement. Yeah.
All right. Well, Karen, you have anything to add?
Yeah, for us, copyright is also a big thing, and we sense it change from time to time, from platform to platform. Sometimes it's very user-friendly for us to file copyright infringement claim, which can easily take this down. But sometimes it's just if you can file with any other reason, copyright is not the acceptable reason. So it really is a difficulty. And also for us, we have a lot of images. It's pure our product image. And we feel some platforms are not friendly enough. And sometimes it's because it's from some of the photos are from our internal system. What we can do is we can send a screenshot of of our internal system, and the platform saying that, sorry, we cannot open that link. So we do not accept that as a copyright claim. And that is one thing. And another challenge we're facing is some of the infringers are I don't know how they do it. They can make the date of the photograph even earlier than us. Even we can show, when we take the photograph, and their date is earlier than that. So we were so excited about, the blockchain technology. If that can help us with the copyright infringements, online takedown, that would be super helpful for us.
Yeah, well, it's not really hard to change the date of photos, unfortunately. Yeah.
Yeah, I can add something. Sorry, I can add something because the other day, other brands discussed with me about for the online takedown on the basis of a copyright. Because sometimes those photos are not used anymore, and it is also not post on your own online website. So this is some reason that some platforms refused to take actions only on the deleted photos. So this is also another situation we are facing, needed to some support from the new technology. Yes.
Great. So we have 11 minutes left. I want to leave a little bit of time for Q&A as well. I saw one questions on the chat. So let me just invite everyone. If you have a question, please feel free to drop the question. But let me move a little bit into the privacy issues that we mentioned previously. I don't think we have time to really expand on it currently, but do you see? We all identify one of the key problem would be the data gathering side, and we all know that platforms are not giving you anything. If you have a online platform in some of the larger e-commerce platform, there's no extract data button. You either go on there and you see it over there that you can't extract anything. There's no API, nothing. So there's no big data to talk about. Now, I don't actually know how to structure this question, but do you see a way to resolve this? What is the privacy issue that we're talking about? What data do you actually need from there that would be helpful for you, and why do you see this as a privacy issue as well? Well, let me just start with Karen and Leona. It's more of a counterfeit problem.
Yeah, let me go first. It's really a conflict for us, especially in some social media platforms. And, there's always the platforms will say, oh, it's about privacy. For example, if there's a WeChat group chat and they are discussing some counterfeit products and they are offering some sales, and it's even impossible for us to enter into such group because they're so cautious. But we know that they're selling because we know it from channel partner. And it's privacy issue. We can do nothing about it. We cannot get the information at all. And also, even for the online platforms, we know the on-site seller, and we try to, the traditional way, we try to return the goods to get the physical address, and it's just a warehouse, third-party warehouse. We have nowhere to find it, and we go to the platform. We have confirmed it's counterfeit. Can you provide more information, a telephone number, a physical address, anything? No, it's privacy. It's pretty a conflict issue.
All right, Leona, what's your thought?
Yes, I totally agree with Karen about this. Because for most brand protection colleagues, I think what our aim is not only online enforcement, but also want to from online to offline activity. I mean the enforcement, but the basis for the enforcement is just we need to have the investigation. How to conduct such kind of investigation is means that we need to have sufficient information. For example, the name, address, or telephone number, which can help us to locate the warehouse, or the factory. So this is quite important for us. But unfortunately, some platforms, some social media or that kind of cannot, they cannot provide such kind of information. Totally understood that there's a privacy, there. So I also can understand, currently in China, for example, the PIPL law is effective on the November the 1st, or data security law on September the 1st. But I think there should be some balance, between such kind of providing privacy information between the activity, I mean the brand protection activity. So it's a discussed topic for the next.
So in my keynote earlier today, I think I talk about how internet policy is central to all these problems. So I think it all route back into this issue. Sorry, Serena, are you saying?
Yeah, I was just going to add that with most privacy laws around the world, there is always an exception for disclosure of data in accordance with the law, as allowed by the law. And there might be a provision in there that allows disclosure of the data for prevention of crime. So if it is something that touches into something criminal, so in our case, for payment services and financial services, and a lot of times if it goes into the boundary of fraud, just involves police. They have investigative powers, and they are able to get people to disclose. So I guess that's one thing that we could do to get around privacy laws, because there is a known exception for certain things. But of course, as a payment platform ourselves, for any platforms, there is always the concern of disclosing data, particularly personal data of our users. So I think a balance that needs to be struck, given the interests of various stakeholders and different parties.
All right. Thank you very much, everyone. I don't think we have time to answer question. I see the pretty faces from the next panel already over there. So sorry about that. I'll probably we'll wrap up today, and I'll pass back the time to Jasmine. Thank you.